It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. I'm joined this week by Paul, Keith, and Matt. We're recording on a Saturday morning this week because there's no football, so we can. Matt, I want to start with you. You were at the Paul Bracewell Peter Reid thing. I know you're not really much in the mood to talking because it was quite a heavy one, but was it a good day?
It was fantastic, yeah. It was. I saw the pair of them a few weeks ago at Goodison, and this one was mainly Paul Bracewell. Peter Reid wasn't even advertised, but in true Reid fashion, he just turned up in a black eye. And it was about an hour before anyone had the bollocks to say, Reedy, what's going on with the eye there? But yeah, no, it was really, really good.
Good stuff.
I wanted Dave Watson frame as well, lifting the FA Cup on the raffle.
Cracking stuff. It's a good picture. Too long ago though. Jesus. Right, we'll kick off with the hot topic. What albums are we listening to, Paul?
Do you know what? At the minute, probably not necessarily an album because it's not being fully released yet, but listen to some of the Blossoms new stuff and going back and listen to the old stuff. And probably Fontaine's DC. Listen to quite a bit of them at the moment. Getting into them. I did initially slate them to my wife, so she's watching and listening. I know you did. Get off your high horse. I'm quite into them now. I'll take it.
Fontaine's a class, right? But don't kill me for this. I like the new one, but it does sound a bit like Kasabian.
It does, yeah.
Doesn't it?
My first word, Starburster.
Yeah. Which can be seen by a lot of people as a negative. I don't mind. Like, I'm a gaff for saying this. The kids pull me up on it every time. I'm like, yeah, the first two albums are decent, and after that shite. You seem to say that about every single band going. But yeah, I think Kasabian's first album's all right. It's of its time. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does sound a bit Kasabian, which people could say as a negative. It's all right. Good shout though, Fontaine's. Keith?
I'm the exact same as Flappy. Blossoms and Fontaine's are my go-to at the moment. I'm actually going to go and see Blossoms in August at I think it's Heaton Park.
Mm-hmm.
I say Heaton Park. It's on a bank holiday Sunday, so I've got England Test cricket on the Friday, hopefully an Everton home game on the Saturday, and then Blossoms on the Sunday. So that's going to be one heavy weekend.
Absolutely.
Got the week off after.
Absolutely terrified about having to drive back down south on the bank holiday Monday because I'm going to be in a broken way.
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty that. So the Blossom stuff. How many songs have they released? Because this is like it's like the streaming thing, isn't it? Where
they're like drip feeding it now.
Yeah, and it does build up quite a bit of excitement for the album coming up.
You're like, just give us the album, lads. Come on. Yeah, it's like when they put like you say, like streaming, like they put a new series on Netflix, but it's like they do that initial dump of like 4 episodes, and you're like, yes, brilliant, and then it's one a week, and you're like, nah, not into this. Give us the lot. I want to sit and binge this. I want to sit and ignore everything else in my life for the next 8 hours while I binge the rest of this.
Yeah, I think it's the two at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
The first one with Dice. I mean, he's on both videos, but they've just released that Gary, which I thought was quite clever, to be fair, because they put like a promo video with Gary Lineker, Gary Neville, and it didn't even put 2 and 2 together that the song would be called Gary, but there you go.
But unfortunately missed out the king, Gary Ablett. He is the king of Garys.
Yes.
Matt?
They'd have a job in him on the video, wouldn't they?
But yeah, but could use some footage from the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
Matt?
I've recently gone back to Lil Nas X's album.
Okay.
Because he came up as an answer on Popmaster. I was watching it with my dad. And then I had the absolute delight of explaining Lil Nas X to my dad.
That's an absolute belter of an album, though.
Oh, it's absolutely superb. Like start to finish, it's a masterpiece.
See, being the old man that shouts at clouds, I've not listened to it, but I will do now. This is one of the reasons I put this question out, really, because I just want stuff to listen to. So I'll listen to that one. Popmaster, was that on the telly, Matt?
Yeah. It was
so
I
always start watching that and think this is shit because the atmosphere of it's quite subdued for a telly show. On the radio it's different, but it's just like they've got the radio show and lashed it on the telly, but by about 5 minutes in I'm fully involved and hooked and it's so good. But yeah, it's a bit weirdly subdued. My things which I put up are probably quite obvious choices for anyone who knows me. Loophole, Mick Head, stunning album. Ekid Dar, Bill Ryder Jones, again, same. Lotus and the Butterfly, Ian Skelly. It's an absolute belt. I got some really nice summer vibes on that. I had to put Dargan's up, Dargan's album, Titan's Flash. And Spin, their new song is class. It's a little bit moody, 80s electronica, which I'm all for, because they're very much a sort of Sunshine and Girls band. But yeah, it's their good. Matt, have you heard it?
I haven't, no.
No, it's good.
Sunshine Girls, like that.
Bit more moody, 80s electronica. Stu Guy said he's currently listening to the Pale Fountains from across the kitchen table. Any Paleys is good by us as well. Right, got a few from Maggie now, so we'll go in order. Matt, pre-election political soapbox special, if you've got it in you.
Oh God, don't let anyone try and blackmail you into casting a vote for someone. Labour's going to absolutely storm it, so you've got absolutely no worries at all about voting against them, because they are absolutely horrible bastards right now. And just being not the Tories is not enough.
Amen to that, brother. Yeah.
Sage advice.
See, this is the thing. I'm not going to go too deep into this because people just start switching off like straight away. But people say you've got to vote for them. It's like, if they're guaranteed that they've got your vote, they'll do fuck all. They just won't change a thing, as we're seeing. You've got to say, I'm not voting for that, before they kind of will maybe start, doing some progressive stuff. I think it's happened just recently, hasn't it, whereby they're a little bit worried about the Muslim vote in some areas. So they're sort of changing the position on Gaza, basically. And yeah, it's just you've got to threaten them, basically, to make them do anything, which is a bit shit, but it's just how it works. But yeah, agree with all that, Matt. Hey, Paul, kids you'd like to kick?
I did think very carefully about answering this, given my profession, and I don't want to be launched out of it. So I'm going to restructure the question a little bit, and I'm not going to say any kids I'd like to kick. If any come to mind that I can get away with, I'll drop them before I finish talking, but I'm going to go with kids' cartoon characters that I'd like to kick.
Choice.
I'd like to volley Bing everywhere. I cannot tolerate Bing. I hate Bing. I don't know whether he's a rabbit. I don't know whether he's a rat. He's just a horrible little individual. And basically, CBeebies are having an absolute nightmare across the country because they're broadcasting this programme. And all Bing is a jumped up little rat / bunny, whatever he is, just going around, winding everyone up, whining, just being an absolute, for want of a better word, tit. Just going around annoying people. And there's a little rucksack looking thing, little cuddly toy looking thing that's supposed to be a father or a foster parent of some kind. And he's got the patience of a saint, just putting up with all his nonsense and just being nice to the little rat, because no one else actually likes him. I don't even know if any kids like him. And if there are any parents out here watching, listening to this now, and your kids watch Bing, just ask them after this goes out, do you like Bing? Oh no, why? Why not? Why don't you like him? For all the reasons I've just specified. He's just horrible. I'm trying to Google him now to show everyone watching on YouTube. He's just I just can't bear him. And this is where all my bitterness comes out now. Look at him.
Looks like a cop-eye.
Yes, he does. Look at it. Just look at him. Oh, and he looks nice and sweet there and all sunshine, rainbows. Watch 2 minutes of a clip, and honestly, you'll snap within 30 seconds of it. Just, I want to play with the football now, Charlie. Shut up, Bing.
Oh, God, is he one of them?
Right, well, yeah, be patient.
Charlie, I'm not being funny here, but just show us that again, Flappy.
There we go.
Right, so that's a gollywog, yeah? They just turned the Robinson's Jam gollywog into a rabbit. haven't they? It's the same thing. It's wearing the same clothes. It's a racist cartoon that they've just turned into an animal to try and indoctrinate children into their racism.
It's a bit close to the bone, isn't it? I've got to say.
It's wearing the same outfit.
It actually is. Has anyone picked up on this before?
It needs a little straw hat.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, Christ.
I just need to compose myself a minute.
No one else seen this.
I mean, it must have occurred to someone along the way somewhere that, come on, lads, but
God almighty.
Not sure about that. So my one sort of like, when the kids were growing up, they're the sort of, Peppa Pig was the thing, right? I'm trying to turn this around quickly. Peppa Pig was the cartoon that basically all the kids were watching. And that has got a serious amount of valuable characters. Not least Peppa Pig herself. It was when I heard one of the kids say grass instead of grass that it was too much for me. While everyone composes themselves, what was my one of them? Oh, Desert Island Discs / Morton Melodies. I think I've read them out just before, but yeah, summer, any sort of West Coast Whittle sounds like the Coral or anything from the Young Studios, just go for it. Wonderful stuff. By the Sea as well, another one. Their first album was class about 10 years ago.
Right, we're back in the room.
Keith's back.
We're back in the room. I'm okay. Can I just add one quickly?
Well, I've got a kid I'd like to kick.
Go ahead.
Disclaimer, Phil Foden's kid. He's everywhere.
Phil Foden's kid looks a little bit like the Man City alien. It's got the same sort of shaped head.
Same head. Yeah. But why do City fans, and I've seen it all over social media, why do City fans like pull him in Europe and ask for a photo with him? It's weird. It's really weird. I don't get it. So for that, he gets a kick him.
Do you reckon he'd be dead hard to kick, though? Imagine Phil Foden's going to be really hard to kick.
He'd probably meg me, to be honest.
Yeah.
If he's got half the ability as our fella has, then he'd probably meg me and make me look a right tip. But there you go.
I just want to quickly add a cartoon kid that needs kicking to Flappy's list. Scrappy Doo.
Oh, God, all day.
Jack Wiltshire.
Absolute prick.
Also, same vein. Do you remember the Godzilla cartoon with Godzuki?
Yeah.
He was a knobhead as well. Yeah. I also found it quite interesting to see that Norman Price has grown up into Luke Akehurst. Keith, Neighbourhood Watch.
Like what? I'm intrigued to know what this involves. Is this just like what's going on?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's sort of Taunton Facebook group kind of thing.
Oh, let me tell you, the Taunton Matters Facebook group is the greatest spectrum of humanity I have ever come across.
Are the big Bing fans?
Oh, they're just some of the questions you get on there are absolutely incredible, and I'm all for it. So if you're a fan of irreverent Facebook groups, join Taunton Matters and just revel in the nonsense. What else is going on? There's a farmer's market on today or tomorrow that I think we're going to wander down to, have a couple of pints, buy some cheese.
Yeah.
A steam train's just gone past, Matt. I know you appreciate a good steam train.
Yay!
And that's about it. I think there might be some cricket on today. I think Taunton might be Somerset might be playing in the old T20. So I might bimble down and stand out the back of Morrison's and watch through the fence because I'm not paying 50 quid to watch them. Yeah, there you go. That is Taunton. Oh, one small gripe I do have is where we live like about a 5-minute walk from the centre of town, and we sleep with the window open at night, and we get people walking out of town past the window at like 2-3 in the morning, just chattering away on the phone. Oh, am I allowed to get an air rifle and shoot at them?
I reckon as long as you don't get seen, yeah. Seems fair game.
So, an air rifle and a ghillie suit.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right.
We have the same problem here, but with ducks and foxes.
Oh my God, the worst
Foxes are just
noise,
horrible
the
noise.
worst noise in the world is the 2 o'clock fox fighting or shagging or whatever they're up
Whatever
to.
they're doing. Yeah.
It is haunting.
It sounds like someone's getting murdered.
It sounds like a baby screaming, like a child being killed.
Yeah. And these bastards, they've gone into our garden and they're trying to dig up our dead cat, which has been dead for 18 months and buried. But exactly where she's buried, there's a massive hole. They're trying to dig it up. It's like,
hell.
I know.
Scumbags.
Horrible. Red bastards. Whoa, another one from Maggie. Which team do you want to inflict a miserable, humiliating defeat onto England? I'm going to be quite contrary on this, and I kind of want England to win it. Just for JP.
Yeah,
Nerd.
I did fancy England's chances, and it's nothing to. Well, actually, no, it is. It's everything to do with Jared Branthwaite's exclusion. But even on paper now, even without Maguire, that defence all of a sudden doesn't look great. Looks very, very dodgy. And Conser, to be fair, Conser's had a decent season for Villa. I rate him, but yeah, I wouldn't be taking any of them over Branthwaite. I was astounded that he didn't make it. So it's what it is. I don't expect England to win it. I think France will win it. They just look like they've got too much quality all over the pitch.
The Branthwaite conspiracy theory is that Southgate's going to get the United job and he's keeping his price down.
It was Chris who said that in the chat yesterday, wasn't it? It was when I was like, I thought, oh yeah, could be something in there. Hopefully not.
Yeah, I'll put my tinfoil hat on for that one. Keith, for you, why won't this team be Scotland?
Because Scotland are gonna. Well, do you know what? I don't know. Obviously, Germany next Friday is not the ideal way to. Oh, another steam train going by, Matt. Germany next week is not the ideal way to start a tournament. I don't know. There's something about Scotland at the moment. They can either pull off the most ridiculous result, like like Norway away or Spain at home in the qualifying, or they can just completely make an arse of it, like last night when they were 2-0 up and ended up drawing 2-2 with Finland because they subbed the goalie off to give Craig Gordon his final Scotland appearance and a big goodbye and everything, and he let in a sitter and then gave away a penalty. Which is incredible work. I think Scotland will get out of the group. I reckon they'll beat Switzerland. I hope somebody ends that little shit Shaqiri's career as well.
Is he still going?
He's another kid that needs kicking. I don't know. He might not be. He might have retired. Who knows? If he's in the stand, I hope somebody goes out and kicks him.
He needs to kick him now.
Hungary, they've got that slobber dog or whatever you call him that plays for the Reds.
Oh, did you see Coleman giving him shit?
Yes.
Oh my God.
As Matt tweeted, "Oh, captain, my captain."
Yeah, it was so good.
Just brilliant. In terms of embarrassing defeats for England, humiliating defeats for England, I think Mags tweeted this too early because just like look what happened last night.
Yes.
Oh yeah. It was a shock of that one. So bad.
Aaron Wamsdale.
Oh God, you got that weirdo Arsenal fan just trying to convince the world that Ramsdale is actually any good.
You might have to elaborate here.
Big into
it's a wide pool, I don't know.
Yeah.
Flosco just relentlessly hounding him on every single one of his tweets.
Yeah.
Correcting grammar and all sorts.
Matt?
England go out in the quarters to Croatia.
I hope so. I've got them in the works week.
I'm sorting ours next week. So
yeah,
I'll get Scotland, defo.
Well, I say you heard it here first, but you probably didn't. But I've done the usual work predictor thing. And yeah, I've got France winning it, beating Germany in the final. England going out to Croatia. Scotland get out the group. That's about it. Not much
That all
else
sounds
about
very
that.
feasible.
Who does Scotland get beat by, Matt?
Can't remember. Was it France? I can't
I
remember.
mean, yeah, that's quite feasible.
Respectable.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Right, we'll come back to some of Maggie's later. We'll go on to
We could finish with Maggie's roundup.
the roundup.
Yeah.
I might have missed that one.
Oh yeah. It's a play on Andy's roundup. Or
Okay.
Woody's
can do that one.
roundup. Mags and all her questions.
Oh yeah, we should. Yeah. There's still a couple to go, so we will. Gary, who would be the best and worst pairing of current alumni Everton players in a three-legged race like school sports days? I mean, there's one massively obvious answer for me for the best and worst, which would be Bernard and Mina, which would be incredible.
I reckon Errol Barrett would struggle because he couldn't really run much when he was a professional footballer.
He was quite ungainly, wasn't he?
He was.
With Brett Angel.
Yeah.
Oh.
With Brett Angel without his glasses.
I think we need someone really fast and really slow, because that would be quite funny. The slow
Royston Drenthe and Michael Keane.
They just had to go around in a circle.
I like that. A good one. Should we think of a good one now? I reckon Jordan Pickford would be quite good at a three-legged race.
Well, he's got to come into this somewhere, hasn't he?
He's got that low centre of gravity, the big shelf arse.
Yeah.
He's going to keep the team balanced.
So him and Ben Godfrey.
Yeah. Or
the
Leon
same size.
Him and Leon Osman, the arses, just I reckon they'd be great.
Leighton Baines and Stephen Pienaar.
Yes.
Piss it.
Or are they too left-sided? Will they be wrong?
Oh God, yeah.
I'm thinking of
Decore
and Fellaini. Decore and Fellaini, because of the length of the legs. You must have a massive stride on them.
Yeah.
Decore sometimes struggles to put one in front of the other. So
true. You've got to throw Segundo Castillo in there with someone as well, just for the size of the man's thighs.
Oh my God.
Imagine getting tied to Segundo Castillo's leg.
Yeah.
You could probably tie my entire body to his leg and it's still be dwarfed.
What's the largest animal you could single-handedly cling film to Segundo Castillo's thigh?
That's the new question it's got to be, hasn't it? On a similar vein then, someone who could be easily sellotaped to Segundo Castillo's thigh. Mike Blakey's asked things Sunak is smaller than. Gary replied with micro penis, which seems feasible.
Do you remember those old the little bobblehead footballer things you got? The
power pads
head and the tiny body, smaller than one of them. He really
and
is.
None of them ever looked like the footballer they were meant to look like, did they?
He really is a tiny, tiny man.
He's smaller than a Fredo.
Who was it in the group chat that christened him the jockey?
Who was that?
That sounds like Jack.
It was either Jack or Con.
The jockey.
And it stuck.
So 3 things he's smaller than. Right, I was going to make a joke about my penis, but Gary's got there first, so let me reconsider. He is smaller than Luton Town Football Club. That's 1. He's smaller than my daughter, who's 2. And he's smaller than a half pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
He is
all correct answers.
Yeah.
Matt?
Where do you think he buys his shoes?
Have you seen the clip of his shoes?
Gets his suits off Build-A-Bear.
And his shoes got flashing lights on them.
Yes,
He's Velcro on the top.
He doesn't walk anywhere, just skates on his heel. There was that picture, wasn't there, though? Like, I think it was the pothole picture. And he had the maddest shoes on.
Oh, right. I thought you were describing the one with the Tory mini boss.
The
He's like 7
final
foot
level
tall.
Tory.
Oh, yeah.
Looks
The
like
final
Dr.
boss.
Robotnik.
Look like he just took him up like he ordered high.
Wonder where he buys his suits from. Sega. Right, we'll go to one from Gary. I don't agree with this choice, but while it's the summer, What's the Story is the best summer album. Anything else is wrong. Fact. Now, for me, What's the Story came out in like October. It's an autumn album for me.
Yeah.
So
It's a rainy day album.
what's that?
It's an album for a rainy day.
Yeah, yeah, I think so as well. My summer '90s album is Great When You're Straight Black Grape because it just reminds me of like the first summer I could drive, and I was driving round in an automatic Mini Mayfair with that blasting out the tape player, thinking I was the coolest kid going. Must have looked ridiculous in reality, but there we go.
I'd say
my standard best album answer here, because I think it's an absolute belter to listen to in the summer, is Different Class by Pulp.
It's a shout. Yeah, definitely.
I'd say mine favorite summer album, just for a multitude of reasons. It might sound boring, but for me personally, I am Arctic Monkeys, because that year was just absolutely brilliant. Roberto Martinez strutted into Goodison, promising us all Champions League football, and yeah, just a wonderful summer for Everton and for all of ourselves to reinvent ourselves. It was great.
It does come down to it, doesn't it? What album were you hammering in a really good summer? That's basically the summer album, isn't it?
I can agree. I can see the thinking behind What's the Story, because they do have some songs that's on that album that sound class when you sat in a beer garden.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're going to see definitely maybe on Monday, and the kids have been doing a sort of like comparison, like for like comparison on What's the Story, and definitely maybe. I think Joe said definitely maybe comes out better. I'm like, no,
Oh, God.
Sorry, no, Joe said did I say What's the Story? Yeah, Joe said What's the Story's better than definitely maybe. I'm not having it.
No, he's wrong.
Yeah, I think he's wrong. But he said on Song for Song, I'm like, nah, not having it. Massive, you got a summer album?
I'm going to offer up a different Arctic Monkeys album than AM, because AM is crap. And it's Suck It and See. I think it's a perfect summer album.
That's a good. I really like that album as well. To be fair, really good. Solid choice.
All the game of opinions, anyway. You know?
Just nice little summery songs, and it's not just Alex Turner, reciting the back of a cereal packet in his silly voice.
Jet skis on the moat.
Can we
2.8 grams of protein per 100 grams.
Just want to just want to quickly, before we move on to the next one, isolate individual summer songs and give Les a bit of kudos here, because do you remember the summer of lockdown when it was absolutely scorching and everyone was off work and you were just sitting in your garden getting leathered? Circa Waves, Lemonade.
Yeah, that was it.
Very good.
Quintessentially the best summer song that's ever been written.
What do you mean everyone was off work?
I wasn't off work.
I wasn't.
Flappy, were you off?
No, never was I. Jeez.
I was off.
It was summer.
I was
always
off
off work in summer.
I was off from March until September, and I had a belter garden at the time, and it was just, do you know what? Couldn't have improved on it.
Oh, you were king of Aperols that summer.
Oh, I had the best. I had the best lockdown. It was incredible. Yeah. Apart from like my marriage falling apart and all that, but
we move.
We move on.
And also, once again, anything by Spin is perfect in the summer.
Right.
Warren, do you have a secret talent?
No.
I don't think I have.
All my talents are on display for the world.
Yeah. If I had a talent, I would not be keeping it a secret.
I do not. I am not one to hide my light under a bushel.
No. No, I don't think I have either.
Pretty much rocky.
I used to be really good at drawing, but I'm not anymore.
I used to be really fast when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, I came second in the Dundee schools 100 meters when I was 16. And then I got old and fat, and now I'm not fast anymore. I'm built for comfort, not for speed.
It was almost a Smith's record and everything you said there. It was like teacher on Morrissey there. Paul, what's your hidden talent?
I'd agree with what Keith said. Pretty much, God-given talents. I'll let my light shine in the world and I'll let people see me for who I am. But if I had to pick one thing, back in primary school, I was an absolutely outstanding speller. Like we had sponsored spells every single year, and I got 50 out of 50 every single year. It was just weird. I just love spelling.
Yeah, I'm the same.
The reason why you've ended up where you are, Flappy.
Yeah, that's it.
The one thing sticks out for me from, like, you know, when you do your little spelling test in school, you have to spell 10 words and the teacher would read them out. One of them was gorilla, and the lad next to me spelled it gorilla like a grill. So Griller, and I was in bulk at the time. I was only about 8. So in bulk at the time when I saw it, and it stuck with me forever.
How do they make toast in the jungle? Stick some bread under the gorilla.
Hey.
we need more joke sounds. One thing I'm shit at, definitely, and it's like a sort of reverse hidden talent, is maths. So another time in school, in form class, because I was a bad swot and I always did my homework, I'd say 90% of the class copied my maths homework, and I got all but one answer wrong. So as the teachers like reading out like the answers and everyone's like checking it off, everyone's suddenly looking at me like, yeah, wasn't good.
I hated maths when I was younger. If I would have went my life without needing it, quite happily. But I did have like a really good maths teacher at secondary school, Mr. Morgan. No idea if he's watching. If you are, nice one, mate. I was like put down for an E in GCSE in maths. Like I hated it that much. I just had no enthusiasm for it. And he got me to like a D, which, to be fair, that would have done me. Like that's progress. Little did I know, to go into teaching, you needed a C or equivalent. So then that was another 12 months trying to get me a grade up again. But he was a good fella, him. But yeah, maths I couldn't stand.
Yeah, I demoted myself in maths. I was in the top set, and I think you could get an A, B, or C. And then the second set, you could get a C, D, or an E. So I was like, I only want a C because I just never want to do this again. And the teachers were like, you can get a B or an A. I was like, I just want a C. And I sort of almost guaranteed myself getting a C because it was a slightly easier paper. And I did, and I never did it again. Lovely stuff. Matt, you've got loads of hidden talents.
Probably the most weird, useless one is if I'm about to check the time, I'll try and guess it in my brain, and I'm normally plus or minus about 2 minutes. So I'll go like, oh, it'll be about 10:17 now, and then I'll check the time, and it'll be like 10:15 or whatever.
I love to have an internal clock that's just slightly off.
I mean, sometimes I get it absolutely bang on, but it's normally plus or minus 2 minutes.
Yeah, I can get it to about 10 minutes either side usually. Especially when I wake up in the middle of the night. I try not to look at the clock.
Oh, that's a mad one when you think, oh, God, it must be about 3:30 in the morning. You look like, oh, the alarm goes off in 2 seconds. Thank God.
That's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah, horrible.
Conversely, the best one is when you wake up and you think, oh, shit, I need to get up for work now. And you look at your thing and it's 2:30 and you're like, yes.
Yeah. No feeling quite like it. Or you remember it's like Saturday the next day.
Yeah.
Which I did this morning. Woke up, genuinely didn't know what day it was. I woke up at 4 o'clock. And I was like, it's Friday night, get in. Amazing. We'll go to Stu. Have you ever just binned everyone off for something totally less important? Not sure where this has come from, but I'm sure there's loads of times where I just like put off important stuff just to do something daft? It's a tough one, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That it is really tricky. Only things I can think of, like a friend of a friend's party we've been invited to, and I'm bladdered and I'm hungover, and I haven't got anything in me to like converse with anyone or even function as a human being. That's the only thing I can think of, really. Like, try to, if it's important, to try to make sure I'm there. Really, can't think of anything else.
In that situation, do you go down the elaborate excuse results, or just like, oh, nothing time, fuck it, I can't go?
Yeah, both. Like, really, like if I'm bad, I'll just go, right, I can't make it, or just say to Kath, yeah, can you just say I'm not feeling too good, which isn't a lie.
Yeah.
In fact, to add to that, I'd probably say if I've swerved any Everton games off to do something like less important, yeah. If I'm bored of Everton and they're in a bad run of form and I haven't got it in my mental well-being to watch another 90 minutes, then I'll just go and do something less important, like take the bins out.
Yeah. Change the bed sheets. Like that.
Yeah. Anything.
That is the thing, isn't it? It's like, obviously this is an Everton podcast, so but it's like it's the most important thing in the world, going the game, isn't it? Until it's not. And it's like sometimes there's nothing wrong with saying, I can't be asked with that today. Just and I do go ahead, Keith, sorry.
I can't remember who we were playing, but there was one where we were in the Denby beforehand and it was just too comfortable. And it was me, Fosco, and Matt Jones, and we never ended up getting to the ground till about half three. It was just enjoying the pints. Do we need to be there for the start?
No, you don't need to be there for the start. You certainly don't need to be there for the end. Don't worry about it. Just go for half time if you want.
Just come and go as you please. You've paid for the year. You can make it up next week.
Exactly. Yeah, get in at like half two. Like
there have been several times, especially during the Lampard era, shall we say, where it was quite tempting just to completely fuck it off and stay in the pub all day.
Yeah, I have done that in the past during Walter Smith.
I'd probably say the Allardyce era did that mainly for me, where like it drove you that much to the point where you didn't want to go to the match. It was genuinely a chore. Like, everyone criticises Dyche now for his style of football, but
it's nothing like Allardyce, though, is it?
Oh, the Allardyce one is when that's the earliest I've ever left the game, and it was United at home.
United
in January.
Oh yeah.
And it was literally, it was the coldest, wettest day. I was piss wet through from walking to the ground, and I bailed after 20 minutes. We hadn't strung together more than 3 passes consecutively. It was 0-0.
That one, Pogba scored in that one.
Yeah.
Lingard with the other, I think.
It was 0-0 at the time, and I'm looking around me going, "Fuck am I doing with my life?" So I just went home. Got home at half time and it was still 0-0, and I was in time to whack it on the telly and watch us lose 2-0.
See, that's the thing as well with Everton games, isn't it? I reckon about 75% of the time you know exactly how this is going to go for the first 5 minutes. As soon as you get in, you know where this game's going.
Yeah.
The Watford 5-2, I bailed at 2-2. As soon as they equalised, I was like, I know how this is finishing. Well, I didn't. I thought it was going to finish 3-2. And by the time I got back to, we were drinking in Rigby's at the time. By the time I got back to Rigby's, it was 5-2.
I have never seen a collapse like that.
I was walking down Bullen's Road when they scored the third. Just there, them all going mental, and I was like, yep. Completely and utterly vindicated for walking out.
Yeah. The Brighton game at home, not last season, the season before, where we went 1-0 down, then 2, and then like it was 4-0 like 10 minutes later. It was just astonishing. That's like the nearest collapse I've seen since that Watford game.
That fourth goal.
Tell your story about that game.
Oh, everyone knows it, yeah. We were trying to get back to town, so we just jumped an Uber And the Uber driver was like, "Oh yeah, terrible game. I was there as well." I was like, "What?" So yeah, I left on 3-0. Literally left the ground, put his lights on, picked us up, and it was 4-0 by the time we got in the cab.
That's amazing. That fourth goal was the one where doesn't Garner play that like just mad pass into the middle of the pitch, and then is it Tarkovsky nails Pickford and the two of them end up in a heap on the floor?
Yeah.
That one.
Peak Everton.
Yeah. Oh, it was a stunning bit of Everton. That. Right, go to Tommy. This is one from a few weeks back. Which was the best World Cup tune on the TV? So he loves the '86 Mexico one and BBC '78. So I put these up last night, both absolute bangers. Keith had another suggestion, which was very good as well. So we'll wait for him to come back. Matt, any thoughts on this as the Euros are coming up?
Waka Waka by Pitbull.
Oh yeah. Actually, I've got to use that Pitbull picture as the picture for this because that rig out it's something else.
So just the context for this is during lockdown we did a football quiz, and the music round was like World Cup songs, and for Waka Waka I said, "Is that Pitbull?" And they're like, "No, it's Shakira, mate." So every time that comes up now, I just say, "Oh, I love Pitbull," because I don't know anything about Shakira.
Thoughts on World Cup themes?
Best one for me is BBC's France '98 with Pavan. The song, the graphics when it's like sweeping in through that restaurant, and you see all like the little clips in the wine glasses, and it just at the end it zooms up to like the stained glass window on the ceiling. It's just absolutely immaculate work.
Do you know the only way that could be any better is if at the end it zooms out into the French cat running into the glass door, and it ends on that.
Oh my God. The single funniest clip on the internet ever. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure we'll lash it on the Twitter thread for
yeah, we'll do that.
But the noise the cat makes when it leathers the window is the funniest thing you'll ever hear.
And it's just as funny every time you watch it. It's incredible. So good. Paul?
I said last night, I know Nessun Dorma was mentioned as like a World Cup song, and I'd agree with that. I think that was Keith last night. But the best World Cup theme, I think it was when ITV were covering the South Africa World Cup in 2010. I can't even remember the name of the song, but it was just so catchy and just a bit of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go with that.
You were there with your vuvuzela, giving it loads.
Oh, all about that. Jesus.
Oh God, that whole World Cup, just listening to that in the background.
It's so weird.
People started selling them over here, and there was like fellas bringing them to the pub and all sorts. Grow up.
I think for me, I agree with Tommy, the '86 one. And that's just pure nostalgia, that basically, because it was my first World Cup, and that when I heard that song played back, it just took me back to being 9 years old.
I think it is. I think
everything's good when you're 9 years old.
You're always going to be slanted towards the first one you really remember watching, aren't you? Which for me was France '98, because I was time, and the one
getting all the gear from Asda.
The one in America before. I actually went. I was at the Italy-Ireland game, at the one in America, because we were on holiday at the time.
Oh wow! Was that the open? It wasn't the open game, was it?
No, I think it was Ireland. Was it? I can't remember that.
Oh no! Yeah,
it was the thingy goal. What's his name? Ray Houghton.
Oh, that must have gone off there.
It was mad. We just like we weren't expecting, never like planned to go or anything, but it was on at the same time. We were in America, and my dad was like, "Oh, should we just go and stumble up and see if anyone's got tickets?" I think he paid like $200 a ticket to go, and we just like I sort of appreciated it because at 9 you're like starting to really get into football. My little brother was 7 and he was a little bit less arsed. And my mum was just like, why the fuck are we here? Why are we not like at Disneyland? But yeah, like other than that, I don't really remember too much of that World Cup apart from afterwards for a birthday or a Christmas. I got a VHS of Brazil's Road to Glory. And it was like all their group games and stuff. And I remember that Brazil team being ridiculous.
Oh, it's class.
Do you remember Bebeto when he
Yeah.
Bebeto.
The kid thing.
The celebration was born. And so yeah, I think like in terms of most memorable World Cups, you tend to gravitate to the first one that you really got into.
Yeah. Man was France 1998 as well. I just vividly remember like just being obsessed with Brazil and fuming. I think they lost 2-1 to Norway in the groups, and I was fuming with Norway because they didn't like have a perfect record going in. But I vividly remember the World Cup final, and this is before Fabrizio Romano, because if he existed during this, like you wouldn't have got the same shock value. But I remember watching Des Lynam on the the pre-match show, and he just says Ronaldo isn't playing. I was like, wow. I like 8-year-old me couldn't get my head around that. I was like, well, what's wrong with him? Is he all right? And I vividly like just remember like the sheer shock of like the whole. He was just completely off it that night, and whatever happened, he just wasn't the same player. And I just vividly remember hating Zinedine Zidane, moving on like for the rest of my life because he ruined Brazil's night basically, and I cried like a baby. Remember the end of the game, fuming because Brazil lost, and then 20 odd years later, visited the Stade de France and found out that I'd inadvertently gone to the wrong toilet while on a tour there. Ended up in the home dressing room, and the fella on the tour turned around to me and said, "You just went to the same toilet Zinedine Zidane used before the World Cup final against Brazil." And I went, Zidane!
Yeah, I think the 86 one for me, because it was the first one I remember, but I think the reason I do remember it is because it was like chocker with Everton players. For the Everton players that came in, when Brian Robson got in, I think Peter Reid came in there. Obviously, Gary Lineker was playing anyway. Stevens and Steven were playing. But yeah, Peter Reid came in, sort of changed the whole team. So 4 players in the England team was just brilliant. And it did sort of make that 86 season a little bit of a distant memory by the time June came round, which was also nice.
Someone once said the 86 England squad was composed entirely of players called Gary, Stephen and Trevor and combinations thereof.
pretty much was. What's yours, Matt?
What, just football, like World Cup memories?
Just your favourite World Cup or your first one, whatever.
I probably remember France 98 more than I do 2002 one, funnily enough. Like all the gear being sold in the Asda, all that like red, white, and blue, the little chickens and all that stuff like that, all the t-shirts. It was really good. But 2002, I think I was on a school trip and we came down to watch them. I think I got knocked out. And I still remember fuming now. I was absolutely fuming because the referee blew his whistle like 40 seconds early. Like England were on the attack, and he just went, "Yeah, full time." I was like, "There's like 40 seconds left here." It was very weird. But as we now know, all the referees in that tournament were like bought off. So
could be something in that. Not averse to a referee conspiracy, are we?
Absolutely, yeah. Good referee conspiracy.
And the other mad World Cup memory is when Germany absolutely leathered Brazil.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even watching it. I was just out in town, and I popped my head in Cafe Tobacco at the back bit there. They were showing it, and they've got them little sort of window box things from the corridor where you go to the box, and I popped my head through there, and it was like 4-0. I was like, fucking hell. And this fella's like, I know, yeah. And then we ended up at Tribeca, which is obviously now not even there because it burnt
pizza
down.
Place.
Oh, yeah. By the time I got there, it was like 7-0. I was like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, just like on a little mad walk around town, and every time when a new gaff, it was like 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. Or
wasn't
I don't know if
Bucks
they
game,
went
no.
6-1 or what, but yeah.
They were the absolute pioneers of pizza, Tribeca, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
The Christmas dinner one with the gravy base.
I remember the Kiev one. The just basically a chicken Kiev and a calzone. Cracking pizza.
It
And
was a belter
they had
place,
the
though.
one with they had the mac and cheese one as well, didn't they? That was outrageous. Just carbs on carbs.
Did they have one on Smithdown as well?
Yeah.
No, that's still there.
I think it's still there,
Is
yeah.
that still
I think
there? Yeah.
they moved to Smithdown after, didn't they?
Oh, I know it's not there because that's what became Crafty Swine.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. It was there as of like fairly recently though. Been there another year.
Finish on a couple from Maggie then.
It's
So,
Maggie's Roundup.
It
Yeah. You'll appreciate
if you could reintroduce one wild animal to the UK, what would it be and where would you release it? Matt.
I don't know. A panther, Anfield.
Yeah, mine was Wolf, Anfield.
Wild boar, Lime Street platforms anytime the Reds are at home. Just like push it in through the door and watch the chaos.
Yeah. I'll go with a rabid fox or a wolf, and I'd release it into the Conservative Party conference.
Nice.
Good shout.
You don't want to introduce foxes to the Tories. They'll all be
You'll shoot her. Well, let's go with the wolf.
Tell you what, wild boars are great shout.
I think the thing with the wild boar is, I can't actually picture a ferocious animal that would be more embarrassing to be killed by than a pig. An angry pig.
It's got those tusks and it would 100% eat you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a very embarrassing death.
It would.
And painful.
Tiny little legs.
Is this how it ends?
Not the face, just not the face. Who on the Blue Room is most likely to end up on Football Cops?
Oh God.
Matt for reposting that picture. Apparently.
No.
I reckon Mo's, but a case of mistaken identity.
For who?
Like they'd be looking for like a
Jerry Seinfeld.
I think they'd be looking for like someone who'd swindled the business out of millions, and he'd look just like Mo's. And then Mo's gets stung outside the shop when he's coming out with his bread and like milk.
Could be a go with that.
I'd probably consider myself getting ejected out of the ground for poor conduct. But other than that, probably Flosco for retweeting the infamous picture yesterday.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't share that picture.
Whatever you do, don't do it.
I haven't even
anyone else
woke up there. I don't actually know what's going on overnight.
Oh, you don't? Oh, you're all right. Just
you're fine.
All I'll say is, if you don't know, you can't go to the game.
I reckon Dave would be a good shout. You know, he's definitely got some criminal activity in his locker. Probably snarling at someone.
Yeah.
And then the conversation when he's approached just gets out of hand, and it snowballs from there. Yeah,
yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? And okay, yeah, final one from Maggie. Kind of specifically at you, Keith, because basically last week summer started, didn't it? Because you got the barbecue back out, so summer officially began. But we'll all chip in. Describe your perfect English summer barbecue, scran, ales, tunes.
Right. I don't fuck about when it comes to barbecues. It's not just your standard burgers and hot dogs and chicken legs and stuff. So what did I have last week? I had did some barbecue chicken kebabs. I had some buffalo chicken wings. Did some salt and chili belly pork. Did some maple syrup belly pork. Sweet chili prawn skewers. Did a big rack of ribs. No messing about there. As you guys can attest to from attending my barbecues in the past, I don't fuck about. And the absolute pinnacle is not a meat item. It's the barbecue dessert, and that is rum-soaked pineapple sticks. Just if you've never had them, you're missing out, and I would highly recommend to anyone. So basically, chop your pineapple into fingery type things, pineapple fingers, let's call them. Soak them in a bowl of rum all day. The longer the better. If you can put them in there at breakfast time, they'll be perfect by about 6 o'clock. When they're on the bar, lash them on the barbecue. Obviously, once you've given it a good scrub down to get rid of all the carbon, shall we call it? And as they're on the barbecue, a little sprinkle of cinnamon. Watch the cinnamon spark in the flames. On there for about 2 minutes. Take them off. Perfect, magnificent. So that takes care of scran and ale.
Yeah, cinnamon's the secret ingredient there. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Dig in that.
It just adds a little je ne sais quoi.
Oh, doesn't it? Any advance on the scram then? Because that covers everything for me. That.
I'll be honest, I can't top that. And as Keith says, he doesn't fuck around when it comes to barbecues. The only thing I could add to that is my father-in-law does like a marinated chicken he puts on barbecues, and it's sensational. I don't know what he puts in it, but it tastes brilliant. It's really nice. Ales I'd have with a cold can of Australia, maybe. Or went to a wedding Jordan Hart the other week, and we were on like a little we were on a coach there, or as Mike Asher calls it, coming to Coventry away. We had like a big hamper of like cans, and I've had like Dead Man's Fingers before, but it's like Dead Man Fingers and Coke in a can. Never tried it before. Absolutely brilliant. Sensational.
Them cans are perfect for
the wonderful
any sort of coach train trip.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say Aperol, but I don't think Aperol is necessarily a barbecue drink. That's more of like a holiday.
It's a faff, isn't it? It's a faff at a barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's keep it simple.
See, also sloppy Bakewell.
Oh my god, I haven't made them in beards. They were dangerous.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Great though.
When anything tastes that nice and gets you bladdered, it's bad news.
Yeah, lethal.
Yeah.
My go-to drink for the summer now, I say the summer, it's like all year round, really, is spiced rum and ginger beer with a slice of lime.
That's spicy, that.
It's just absolutely, it's do you know what? It's perfect. It's the perfect summer drink, but it warms you in the winter as well. You can't beat it.
Perfect. Matt?
Sensational.
Food, Richmond sausages, ale, Madry, tunes, Jamie Webster.
Daft Punk, Sound of the Summer.
That is a barbecue where you're all going to go out drunk later and try and stop small boats.
Yeah, and before you go, you got to check the integrity of any masonry surrounding the area. We'll finish on that. So, thanks to Matt, thanks to Keith, thanks to Paul. That's been Mailbag. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We will catch you next time.